Hi there, this is Alvin, and welcome to the Kickstart Commerce podcast, where we share search marketing and domain name investing strategies to help grow your business. In today's episode, our guest is none other than Harman Singh, a part-time domain investor and serial entrepreneur based in India, having founded Moxie.com, a brandable domain name marketplace for buying and selling of domain names, and DSDM.in, the Digital Marketing Institute. Today, Harman and I discuss how digital marketing guides his domain investing strategy, how he's built a scalable end-to-end domain name buying and selling platform via Moxie.com. We also get a peek into a few of Harman's latest domain sales. And last but not least, we discuss the domain buying and selling trends in India as Harman sees it. So with that, Harman, thank you for making time to join us today.
My name is Harman Singh. I am the founder of Moxie.com. I am from New Delhi city, the capital of India. I completed my BA graduation. I am into domain investing since 2017. I am running a digital marketing institute here in Delhi and working as a part-time domain investor.
Great. And so, thanks for that brief little summary there, Harman. And so I guess in terms of getting things started, now you have a background, I guess, in digital marketing. I mean, you've worked for a number of companies, I guess, there in India. I believe it was like, teleshopping, I think it was like teleshoppingindia.org. And then you also did some digital marketing for carcafe.in. And so you've had quite the journey then in terms of digital marketing. And so how was it that you got into domain investing?
Yeah, in domain investing, in 2017, I attended the event Domain X first time, where I met all domain experts like Ashwin Bikhona and other domainers as well. And after that, I got to know that a domain can be sold. Before that, I bought a domain name for the development purpose. I don't know about the domain investment. And after that event, I started research on domain names, that what are the brandable names, what are geo names, and what are the aftermarkets, how to do outbound for the domain names and all. I started my domain investment with the geo names, where I bought two names from the expired and did outbound and successfully sold both of them via outbound marketing in April 2018. So I sold them, one of them I sold at 750 Canadian dollar, and second one is for 200 USD.
Wow. So let's back up here a little bit. So you mentioned something. So you said that you first heard about domain investing through Domain X. And so I guess, how did you hear about Domain X?
Yeah, I am socially active on Facebook as well. So where I met Mr. Manmeet Pal Singh. He's Punjabi and he's from Amritsar, India. So he shared their event, the Domain X. I was not aware of what is Domain X. It is held in Delhi every August, in every year in August. The Domain X has been the event has been started. So I attended that event in 2017 first time. So where I got to know about the domain names.
Gotcha. Now, are there any other conferences there that are held in India based around domain names?
Yes, one more conference is Domaining India Summit. It is in Kolkata, and in last year it is held in Amritsar as well. So, but from Domain X, I got got to know about the domain names, and I attended more events after Domain X, Domain Summit, which I told you, and that's it.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So then in terms of domain investing, I mean, I guess do you consider yourself I know a part-time domain investor, I guess, but do you do any sort of domain development by chance or
Yes, I developed some names for the like clients as well, like at DSDM. Like I started my institute, I give like training of digital marketing to the freshers, managers, and provide services for the same as well. So the students offer like WordPress training, SEO training, pay-per-click training, social media marketing, and e-commerce, etc. So I also helping businesses to boost their leads and sales, the 2 years before. And currently, I am into digital marketing services also.
and so you've been doing, I guess, DSDM .in. How long have you been doing that?
From last 8 years, I am like
Okay.
working with dsdm.in.
Ah, gotcha. And so then I guess now is India seeing an explosion in terms of growth around digital marketing services?
Yes, from last 4 to 5 years, India is rapidly growing in digital marketing. Because the digital channels are working here, everyone have their Android phone and like uh, uh, other phones, and they are using like apps like WhatsApp, Instagram, and like these days they are using like TikTok ads also. So we are using TikTok ads also. So though India is like rapidly growing great in like digital marketing.
So then, in terms of dsdm.in, so I guess obviously I look at that and I go, well, you're using the country code there for India, but why not use the .com? Was it taken or
Yeah, the
how
.com
did you
was
arrive at that?
the .com was taken at that time. So I like would like at that time I was looking for the like short name, and the full form of the DSDM is Delhi School of Digital Marketing. And
Ah.
so I like that name, and I bought that name, and I started my business on this name.
Gotcha. And then so like what kind of services are you offering?
Yeah, we are offering like digital marketing training, SEO services, Google Ads services, Facebook Ads services, social media marketing services. We have some like e-commerce clients in India, you said, like what about the teleshopping India? So I worked for teleshopping India at the 8 years before. So it was like growing at that time. So I got the knowledge about the every like digital marketing platform. So after that, I started my like this institute, and I give training of digital marketing to the college students and freshers.
Gotcha. And so this is probably then, I guess, what you spend a good bit of your time doing outside of domain investing then.
Yeah, yeah. So this is my traditional business, and this is my like full time business. So I'm doing like as a part time domain investment after office hours. That's it.
Now, what are your typical office hours?
The office hours are like 10:30 to 5:30 p.m., 10:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. And after that, I like do as a part-time domaining. I give 2 to 3 hours for the domaining every day. And I have a team of like 4 people, 4 persons, and two of them like doing outbound, and two of them like working as a like social media marketing and other campaigns.
Okay. So that's interesting. So you work pretty much a 9 to 5 India hours, and then in the evening you basically are devoted or you dedicate another 2 to 3 hours to doing domain investing.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
So then how does that, I guess, how are you impacted then by I guess obviously the auctions are more geared towards, I guess you'd say, a Western time zone or Western time zone friendly. So then how do you make those adjustments, because auctions are going on really as you sleep?
Yes, at the time of like in the night, it is about around 12 a.m. to 1 a.m. The auction will be uh, uh, like over. So at that time, I sometimes like I give a bid for as a which bid and also like at that time sometimes I don't like sleep at that time. I do bid on like domain names on GoDaddy auction, namejet auction, and Dropcatch as well.
So then you end up likely setting alarms then if it's a really good name that you want and it's 2 or 3 in the morning your time.
Yes, yes, definitely. I don't sleep at that day, and I work on I worked at that time because I need that name and I have to like bid on that name. So that's
Gotcha.
it.
So then in terms, now I know that you mentioned you had two team, or rather team members that focus on, two that focus on outbound and two that focus on social media. So do you have any team members that strictly focus on buying, or is that all done by you?
No, the buying is cut with me, and other team members are only focused on like outbound. I do like negotiate by own, and there is no any other person who like buying the names for me and other. So the buying is cut with me.
Gotcha. So then, obviously, so you get into domain investing, you hear about these conferences, you attend the conferences, you're likely enlightened and learn so much just from the personal relationships, personal connections you made there. But then, in terms of making that shift coming out of the conference and really wanting to apply what you've learned, like give us, I guess, a brief peek at your journey at how you begin to, I guess, go from a one person domain and investing shop, if you will, to where you've built Namoxie today. Like, what was that process like?
Yes, before Moxie, I like sold names via like Dan.com, GoDaddy, After Nick Market. And yes, the last year in March 2019, I started the Namoxie.com from where we sell our own names with like inbound queries and outbound marketing. And we successfully sold some of the good names in four figure. And the main uh, decision to make like I created Namoxie.com because of other platforms like Dan.com, the GoDaddy.com. The GoDaddy.com charges like 20% commission. This is like too much. So we
Right.
using we using like escrow.com payment gateway, which has a lowest 3.5 commission charges. And we sold many names in like four figure from the Namoxie.com. I can share the name as well with you if
Yeah.
you like. We sold like accessible.org for $9,000. It is like inbound offer on like namoxie.com. The leading edge media at $1,900 USD. It's an like outbound sale. The business computing.com 3,300 USD. Academyofbusiness.com, which we sold last month, the $2,200. The rockit.net, which we sold for 2,000 USD. It's a not like outbound sale. The buyer bought from Cedo.com.
Nice. So then so Namoxie then is really settling in that area of probably about that $2,000 to $3,000 range
Yeah.
in terms of what the buying sweet spot is.
So the buying sweet spot is like I generally bought these days like I bought names from the like auction platform and
Hmm.
the closeout I bought names from like Dina.auction and GoDaddy auction, namejet auction. Uh, So in buying terms, I like bought between like 300 to 600, $700 the name which I like which I sold like for like if I like say that like leadingedgemedia.com, which I bought for $65, and I sold that name for 1900 USD. It is an like outbound sale. The
Nice.
businesscomputing.com I bought from Namejet auction for $550, and I sold at like $3,300 the outbound sale. So generally, like it depends on name. If I like the name, then I go up for that name because uh, I know that the domain can be sold via outbound offers or inbound offers in the future. So currently, I have like around 200 to 220 domain names portfolio, and we listed around 100 names on moxie.com and other names on dan.com. So this is like these are my like strategy.
Yeah. So then, previous to Namoxie, now did you ever? I look at it and I go, I think it's hard to come across domain investors that don't do this. But did you start out, hand registering domains?
Yeah. I like hand registered the names. I told you that in 2018 I hand registered like two names, the geo names, the Edmonton Accident Lawyer.com and New York Bakers.com. Which I sold for like in the three figure like 750 Canadian dollar and New York Bakers for the 200 USD. And after that sale, I like go for more geo names, and I made some money with like geo names, and I go for like three figure names from the auction. And after like that, I go for like four figure names also.
So this Edmonton accident, you said edmontonaccidentattorney.com, right?
Edmonton Accident Lawyer.com. It's not
Oh,
attorney.
edmondaccidentlawyer.com.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
then, so help us get into the frame of mind then. And so you went after these geo names. And so I
Yeah.
guess the question there is, what names are, because not every geo name is really valuable. So like what geo names did you find? Obviously you found those two to be valuable, but then have you done any more sales since then, since those two?
Yes, I got the sales for the Geo every month, and if you go for the like the Geo names, then you have to like city plus like keyword. The
Right.
if you can find that names, the city plus keyword or state plus like keyword, and there are a lot of niche in Geo like lawyer niche, dentist niche, physiotherapy, and more as well. If you like started with like geo names, then you will definitely make good profit with the geo names.
So then how do you know which geo name industries to go after?
See, I did experiment on every industry, and when I got some sales from the particular industry, like I told you, like lawyer, attorney, digital marketing, SEO, and I sold many like Boston SEO service, digital marketing relic.com, and a lot of names like you have to test like we have to test like every industry, and we do like experiment on every industry, and if the one industry works for you, then we have to continue on that like industry. So if you that's it.
So then in terms of, so you do these experiments on the industry, and so like what have you found in terms of which industries are better suited for geo service domains? Like I think about, for instance, what is it, pet sitting, babysitting, so those seem to be lower margin. So like which industries have you found to be the best in case of just going, hey, these industries we found have higher margins?
Yes, you can try like with the like lawyer industry, attorney industry, the law firms, the dog training, dentistry, as well like physiotherapy, digital marketing, because digital marketing is booming day by day. So the media
Gotcha.
industry as well. The you can like try every industry, but these industries are like have potential users and have potential buyers on Google. And every not every geo names will like sell at like above like $550 or $700. If you sell these names at like 200 to 250, then you can easily make a money, because not every buyer like will pay you like more than 550 for these names. So if you like demand for like only like if you asking for like 250 to 200, and you can like easily sell those names in this industry.
So really that window then, the lower end, like you said, is probably 250 to $300. The
Yeah.
middle range is likely the 500 to 550, and then that upper bound is probably 750 to 800 then.
Yes. Yes.
Gotcha. That makes sense. So really, it's interesting hearing you, kind of talk about your domain investing strategy there in terms of geo domains, because it's like I have that light bulb moment to go, oh, wait a minute, actually, some of the things that you're teaching in terms of the Digital Marketing Institute are actually playing into your domain investing.
Yes, the digital marketing is a basic for like I can say like the digital marketing is a basic for domain investment, domaining. If you have a good knowledge for the terms of like tools like the keyword everywhere, Google keyword tool, the Google Trends, and as well as other tools as well. So you can do the domaining easily.
Interesting. And so, in terms of obviously going from a personal part-time domain investor into the Moxie, so then for listeners not familiar in terms with namoxy.com, and that's namoxy.com. It, I'm looking at your site right now, and it puts me in the mind of so you're likely direct competition with things like Brand Bucket, Brand Paw, Brand Root, likely.
Yes. But I don't compare our Namoxy platform with the other, because we don't list the names of other domainers on Namoxy. On
Ah,
BrandPa and BrandRoot, all other domainers can list their names, but we don't like give any authority to other peoples to like they list their name. We list our own names on Namoxy. And
okay.
yes, in the terms of competition, yes, we ranked. The namoxy.com on Google first page in the top five with the some keywords. If you go to like google.com and type brandable domain names on like google.com, the Namoxy has been ranked on the fourth number. And if you like write like brandable domain names for sale, the Moxie will be ranked on second numbers. We got like some organic traffic from all over the world, and get some like queries regarding the brandable names. So we are going day by day. Definitely.
Yeah. So then, in terms of Namoxy, so kind of walk our listeners through just the site and kind of what they can expect in terms of if they were to go actually purchase a domain from Namoxy.
See, the Namoxy is not very popular in the current stage, but we will definitely make a brand. We will like use Google ads. We will use like Facebook ads, and we will like use like for the email marketing as well. So we got some sales from the Moxie, and for the buyers, the 2 months before, we like give two more options. If you go to any domain name like affiliateninja.com or boostfactory.com, then you will see there we listed like they will like give the four options: the add to cart, make an offer, and two more options of buy at Cedo.com and buy at GoDaddy.com as well. So
So,
these
so
are the like
then
options.
So then in terms of let's see. So I'm on the moxie.com right now. So if I go to let's see here. Okay. So I've landed on the homepage. So if I click the shop now button or the shop now link there at the top, then ultimately it takes let's see, it takes us to a shop
Industry.
page, which
Yeah.
then you basically, I guess, you've segmented the names or categorize the names basically on a given industry. So it
Yeah.
looks like you have marketing, education, fashion, business, food and drink, and then it looked like the list goes on. So if I go in, let's just say I choose something like let's choose healthcare and see what's in there. Okay, so I choose the healthcare section, and it looks like there are 27 names that are in there. Um,
Yeah.
and let me see here. Let's see. I'm gonna choose dentomax.com, and let's just see what pops up here. Okay, so then on the Dentomax page, obviously says the domain name dentomax.com is for sale for 3888, so $3,888.
Yeah.
And so what's interesting, so I guess I can add this to the cart and buy it from the Moxie, but then it looks like I can also make an offer. There's a make offer button there. And then I see what you were talking about now, where it has the two buttons of buy at GoDaddy. So there's a button that I could click, and I'm assuming that it takes me to the GoDaddy platform. And then there's a buy at Cedo.com button that takes me to Cedo. So that's an interesting I guess strategy that you have going. So I guess if people don't necessarily feel comfortable buying from the Moxie platform, then they could actually go through GoDaddy and Cedo.
Yes, 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 definitely. Because in previous, when we did like outbound for the domain names, then some of the like buyers said like we don't know what is namoxy.com. We bought names from GoDaddy and Cedo as well. So do you have any like link for the GoDaddy? So we provide the link for the GoDaddy as well. So from the GoDaddy buy now link, we got some good sales.
Interesting. So you're starting to actually see, I guess, an uptick then in terms of the number of sales because you have the different venues that you can actually purchase the domain through. That if people don't necessarily feel comfortable purchasing through Nomoxy.com, then they have these other avenues.
Yes, 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 yes.
Gotcha. Gotcha. No, that makes perfect sense. And so then in terms of let's back up a bit. So you have the platform here, but in terms of now doing outbound sales, what's your strategy there? Do you use namoxy.com, or is it more so that your individual team members that they're just going through your portfolio name by name, and then like I guess are they redirecting buyers to namoxy, or what is that process?
Yes, the process is like the team members do outbound. They make a data of our buyers from the like Google, the Bing.com also, and we using the tool, the Domain IQ. From Domain IQ, we getting the data of all buyers, and we got like who is information as well. So they did like outbound, they did like email to the buyers, and if the buyer interested, then they replied back. And after that, they getting like replied, like they forward that reply to me, and I do like negotiation on that domain. So if the like buyer agrees on the price, then I will provide the link of like buy now GoDaddy as well and then a Moxie as well. Whatever he want to like wherever he would like to pay, he want to like start their transaction from the GoDaddy, then they can either they can start their transaction from the Moxie as well.
So then your team, so they really are kind of just first level outbound. They make the initial contact, but then once contact is made and there is interest shown in that domain, then you pretty much pick up, I guess, the negotiation from at that milestone.
Yes.
Gotcha. And then you kind of carry it, I guess, across the finish line. Now, what happens in the event? Let's say you have your team, they've done outbound, they make an initial contact, there is interest in the domain. You then pick up the domain to negotiate with that customer. And let's say that customer, doesn't buy the domain. Then what happens? I guess, do you put that lead back into the hands of the team to say, hey, this person didn't respond, and do they try to reach back out, or is it just hey, that cell is kind of dead in the water and we'll likely not touch it again?
No, I don't like give that lead to the team and that the customer is not responding, because every customer has their own budget, and if we like talk about like the domain names, if we if I bought that domain from the auction and I don't want to sell that name at that price, so there is no problem. I do I will do follow up after 1 month or 2 months or 3 months. If the customer says that I am not interested in that names right now, so it's mean we can do follow up after 2 months. So if you do follow up after 2 months, then you will definitely make some sales. Let me like talk about like businesscomputing.com. So, so what happened with me, like with this name, the buyer agrees on like $3,300, and he said that I am not aware about namoxie.com, so I don't buy names from any other platform. So I like try to give them like GoDaddy link as well, but he
Mhm.
didn't pay at that time. And after 6 months, when I did like follow for the same name, then the buyer agrees and he paid that amount. So there is no like issue with the buyer. If the buyer said that I am not interested at this time, it's mean that you can do follow up after 2 months, 3 months to the same buyer. Maybe he will buy that name. So it's a like common thing in outbound.
Now, do you use any sort of automation tools by chance in terms of, because you're talking about months are passing, and I would imagine that you get multiple deals going at the same time. And so I look and say there's a tendency that the customer could fall between the cracks. So, do you use any email marketing automation, or is this all, personal touch, you picking up the phone, dialing out to the customer and actually talking to them?
No, we don't use any automation tool for the outbound. Uh, we have like lot of Gmail accounts and Outlook accounts, and we did our team send the emails around like 100 to 150 200 people every day. So we don't use we don't invest in like automation tool. We like I prefer for the like manually. So the manually is working great for me, and that's it. I don't like recommend to anybody that go for like any automation tool and do follow up with them. So because there are a lot of chances for the spam in the terms of like outbound, so we have to like work as like manually.
No, that makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense. So then, in terms of I look at Moxie and I go, so you're growing this company little by little, and like I said, it's only been in existence just for a couple years here, and so in terms of Namoxie.com, like what advantages do you have being based in India?
The advantages, first of advantages is there are like some great domainers in India who helped me a lot about like how to do outbound, how to do negotiate. They like help me for this, how to find good names, and this is the main advantage from the other domainers. Yes, definitely. If I say like we are growing day by day, and uh, in the terms of like India, there are a lot of good domainers in India. Like as I said, like the Mr. Ashwin Vikhona, he's my inspiration. He helped me a lot. He teach me a lot in the like past about the domain names, how to find good names, how to find industry, and which industry is benefit for me and for the domaining, because he's like experienced domainer.
Right. And then in terms of, so do you find that it's easier, I guess in terms of just the cost to run the Moxie as well? I mean, there's probably quite a difference there. Like if you were based here in the US or based Western, it'd probably be more expensive to possibly operate, on the Moxie.com. And so, you know, I guess there is an advantage there in terms of being able to hire locally in India, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Gotcha. Okay. Now then, in terms of the domain buying and selling trends that you're seeing in India, like what are you currently seeing is the thing that's leading into the future and thing that's actually providing growth in terms of domain investing and buying and selling.
Yes, in buying, I can say right now, currently, I'm like investing in healthcare and the names in healthcare, and also in the digital marketing, and as well as the cannabis industry, which is growing day by day. So hemp industry. So if you go to like name bio, then you will see like the trending sales are there. So these industries are like have more potential buyers in the future. So we have to work on it, like as well as crypto also. I sold many names in crypto in .NET and .org in the past via Outbound. So
So
that's
that's
it. Like
interesting that you've sold crypto names. Now I would imagine in terms of some of these industries, obviously you mentioned healthcare, hemp, and cannabis rather, um, industries. So I think about those and I go, there are like all these new industries, or let me say, pseudo industries like cannabis that are, I mean, they've been around, but then it's one of those things of going, you had to either register the right names at the right time, which would be like a few years ago, or sometimes as much as up to a decade ago. Um, but that being said, like I guess, how do you see these things that are on the horizon, but to a certain extent, it seems like you would, like if we were saying, hey, 5 years from now, there's going to be this new industry, it would seem like you would have to be buying those names now. Is that true?
yes, you can, but I am not like much aware about that, because I can say that if the industry is growing day by day, then it will not sure that the domain can be sold for the higher in the future. So I said if you work on like great names and you have good names, then you will definitely make good money. There is no because when I in last past year I sold some crypto names in .NET and .org, not in like .com. So
Really?
because a dot com was not available at that time. So I started investing in .net. I sold like cryptohouse.net. I sold cryptowealth.net and many more names as well.
See, and I would have guessed that crypto was, it kind of died off just with the number of crypto.com names that I see expire on a daily basis.
Yes, it is like expire on daily basis. In this month, I like bought cryptogrowth.net as well from the closeout, and it has many potential buyers. So we will like start Outbound next month, and I will sure that it will be like sell for the good money.
Interesting. So then the one of the big tools then that you use then is name bio to determine, I guess, what's trending, what's not, and what the price points are.
Yes, the name bio, the GD, GoDaddy valuation, I use that. The tool for the outbound, I use only one tool, the domain IQ. It is like all-in-one tool. You can find who is information and as well as the
Mm.
leads from the domain IQ. So these three tools are like my favorite tools. So I use that name tools.
So that's interesting because I would have considered namebio.com to be likely more so wholesale prices, and then GoDaddy's their estimated or their Go value tool
Yes,
to
yes,
be, and it's kind of weird because with that tool, some people look at that tool and they say, well, it's more of a wholesale pricing or it's more simply an estimate. But then, I kind of get the feeling from you that you're more likely using that to actually set retail prices.
yes. It depends on your like. It depends on the industry as well. If the name bio shows you like the domain has been sold around like in between like 1,000 to 2,000, then you can easily make money up to 2,000 or to 2,500 or 3,000, not more than that, because name bio shows you like little sales about the keyword. If you use like name bio, if you use name bio, then it is like it will give you the good criteria for the price and pricing for the domain.
So then if you were to research a name using name bio, and let's just say you you find some names have sold, let's just say 15, 20 names in this given example, but you're seeing prices that are fluctuating anywhere from $100 to, let's cap it at 200. Then at that point, do you look at that and you say, it's not really worth my time and effort just because there's not really much to be made? Or how do you, because you just mentioned how, hey, if it's up to 2,500, then obviously that gives you a bit more space, a bit more wiggle room. But if you find keywords on that lower end of the spectrum, I mean, do you still go after them or do you pass on those?
Yes, yes. Because like not every name like I sold because we did like outbound for many names, and we sold around like 2 to 3 names every month. So I got only 2 to 3 sales every month from the Moxie outbound and inbound offers.
Okay. So two to three sales that range anywhere from $2,000 to $3,000. So that's not bad starting out then.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So then in terms of, so where do you see yourself growing the Moxie to? Like what are your hopes? What are your dreams for it?
Yes, definitely. We are growing day by day. There will be a greater future for the Namoxi. I will list more great names on Namoxi in the future, and we will work as a full time as well.
Gotcha. So then wrapping up here, so what would be your advice to someone wanting to get started domain investing? Where should they start?
Yes, for the like beginners. For the beginners.
Whether it's business or personal. I mean, I guess let's take the personal approach. If there is a listener that's out there that's one person shop that wants to get started in terms of maybe even part time or maybe even full time investment, like what would be your guidance to them?
Yes, my first tip is before making investments, they should do more research on domain names, read some blogs and tips from the Name Pros, DN Academy, Domain Sherpa, and also listen some podcasts about domain experts. And start with the one or two geo names, find leads and potential customers from the Google Map and Google Search, and do outbound, do negotiate, get some sales, get some experience, and after that, use that profit for the best names and make money.
Gotcha. And that's interesting because as much as that is for the single person, I also think about that for someone wanting to actually start a business
Yeah.
around domain investing, or coming up with their own platform in terms of creating either a Moxie, but and I kind of look at it personally like it's interesting when I
Yes,
think about.
yes, it's definitely if they're getting like some good sales from other platforms, then they can start their own platform. Because
Gotcha.
I save many money with some sales. Like I sold accessible.org for the $9,000. If I sold that name from GoDaddy, then I have to pay $1,800 to GoDaddy. And if I sold that name from Dan, then I have to pay like 9% commission. I think the 800 to 900 to the like Dan. So I save that money, and I put that money for the good names, and I buy more names for this. We can save like a lot of money with own platform. So this that is a basic reason to start like namoxie.com.
Gotcha. And so likewise, now if there are buyers that are out there, why should a buyer, come to namoxie.com? Why should they? What's the benefit to the buyer?
The benefit is this, if the buyer approach me with the make an offer, then I can consider that offer and easily. And I got the details of the buyer from the like Dan. The Dan will not share any like email ID and the phone number of the buyer, so you will not call them, or you will not mail them, or you will not work on the buyer as well, that he can pay for that name the $2,000, the $3,000. So from the Namoxie, when I got the offers, then I got the email information, the buyer phone numbers, so I can easily work on the buyer background. So this is a basic benefit for me. Uh,
Ah,
like
so then a buyer could actually save anywhere from 10 to 20% then
Yes,
purchasing
I
directly.
can offer him if they said if I go with namoxieescrow.com, so will you give me some discount? Then you can give like 5%, 10%, or as well as 15% discount. So these are the benefits with the own platform if you start your own platform with the name.
Gotcha. So then last but not least, I mean, is there anything else that you'd like to share with listeners?
Yes, listener, reach out me on LinkedIn if you have any questions, and on Instagram as well. For the listener, you can share this podcast with your friends, and if you're having any problem with related to the buying and selling and the outbound, then you can reach me at admin@namoxie.com. So I will surely answer your emails for that.
Certainly, certainly. And so, with that, we're out of time. So, Harman, thank you again for joining us today and sharing your entrepreneurial and domain investing journey.
Thanks, Alvin, for having me here. Thank you so much.
Certainly. And thank you, listeners, for tuning in to Kickstart Commerce, where we share search marketing and domain name strategies to help grow your business. Please subscribe to this podcast via iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, or Podbean. Last but not least, please visit kickstartcommerce.com to subscribe to the newsletter sharing tips and tricks about the disciplines of digital strategy. Thanks, and that's all for now.